Uh, Thank you so much, everybody who's joining us on this live call today. It's an exciting day for Lynn, and it's an exciting day for anyone who knows anything about any of Lynn's books. Lynn is a medium, she's a Reiki master, and she's just written her fourth book, which has caused a great deal of excitement. And she's already had an article published in a local newspaper on the Wirral. So, Lynn,
Hi,
great to see
Deb.
you. And we're eager to know more about Clara. I haven't read it, I haven't seen it yet, so I just cannot wait to order my copy later today, which I'm going to do the minute that we finish this call. So, um, tell me, who's Clara? What's Clara?
So, Clara came to me around about 2015, 2016. She is my spiritual guide. She sort of came to me like little mini whispers in the night. It was very subtle, very, very delicate, very difficult to pick up at first. Um, And for those that know me, that don't know me, sorry, I am a channel. So I was channeling her messages onto a piece of paper for a while. So she started working with me during my healings and my readings, helping me to connect to people's loved ones that had passed over. And as time progressed, snippets of her story were coming out. She would tell me, I've experienced this or I've experienced that. Very, very interesting. And it was during a session at one of my retreats that she decided, in her ultimate wisdom, that she wanted me to write her story. So that has been quite the journey.
So, okay, so she obviously told you that she wanted you to write the book, but what inspired you to actually put pen to paper and get going with it?
Well, it was very difficult. I'm not gonna lie. It was coming out in one-liners. She was not giving it me chapter by chapter, but she started to tell her story from before she was born, to be honest, her mum's story and her father's story. And she would I don't hear like a full conversation when people channel to me, when spirit channels to me. I hear one-liners. So this whole book was written in
Wow.
one-liners, which was quite the editing nightmare.
Oh my
But
goodness.
she gave me, not in any order, the chapters of her life, how she lived and how she died. And it was a very moving story.
I'm sure. So you presumably had to then decipher it line by line and put it into some kind of, how did you know what order to put it all in?
Well, she sort of she gave me chapter titles. She was very organized,
Right.
but not like me, but she was very organized. So she gave me chapter titles and then she'd give me snippets of each chapter. So I didn't even know what the book said, to be honest with you, because I was writing it in bits and bobs,
Wow.
which was quite when I sobbed when I read it myself because once it all pulled together, I realized what a life she had led. She was born in the late, so she was born 1564. So she lived during the times of witchcraft. She was a healer. She was a beautiful soul who helped people who were passing over, helped people at end of life. She was a midwife. She was a herbalist. She was just a beautiful lady that lived in a beautiful cottage, grew her own vegetables, kept herself to herself. But during those times, a lot of women were persecuted for
Mm.
witchcraft. The things that she could actually do were classed as witchcraft. Those that didn't understand how she worked the land, etc., um, branded her as a witch, and she came
Be
to
the,
quite
the
quite
time of,
different
sorry,
ending.
the time of the Pendleton witches, would it have been?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
definitely. It was all around that time, and the witch hunts were taking place all across the country.
Hmm.
She lived in Llansannan in North Wales, not far from Denbighshire, in a quiet town. Well, it was a quiet town then. I have been back since writing this book, and it's still quite tiny, to be honest. So
Mm.
she sort of kept away from it until a preacher came to the town and began to preach about witchcraft, frightening the neighbours to death and making them look out for these women with the evil devil in them.
Wow. So can you tell us a little snippet of the sort of things people can expect from the book that might just inspire them to want to press that button on Amazon today?
So I think the inspiration is that it's actually a true story, and it's a remarkable true story because it hasn't come, it's not my true story. It's the story of somebody that lived 400 years ago. And I actually am in awe of the fact that she's managed to channel this to me over the past 2 years. And it's for those people that feel, excuse me, feel that connection to spirit, for those people who are energy healers, or just people that think, gosh, do you know what, something else is going on in this world and I need to find out what else there is other than what you can see with the naked eye. And I feel her story is a powerful revelation of life after death as well. And those
Mm.
that are interested in life after death and or near death experiences, she talks about after she is killed by the witch hunters, she still continues her story and how she's helped people to heal and how she's helped other ladies to step forward into their own energy and their own power.
Fantastic. Sorry about my phone
It's
there.
okay. Life
Tell
happens.
us what happens in life. So, right. So just before we finish, there's things to talk about with your other books, and I think that we shouldn't overlook the fact that this is your fourth book, but you've had bestsellers before today. So we're hoping and praying that this one makes the category of bestseller as well. So tell me a little bit about the first one that you wrote.
So, I like to guide us home is my story. So, I became a little bit wacky as a 5-year-old, to be honest. And I could connect to spirit. I could tell people what was going to happen. Got into trouble so many times at school because I knew things I shouldn't know. So, that was my story from the age of 5 up to the beginning of my work with the public and my mediumship.
Right, okay, fantastic. And I've read that and I know I can vouch for that one. It's beautiful. And this one, Angels
Angels
are.
around us. So this was a continuation really from the other book where clients gave me their permission to write their stories, and it's filled with amazing journeys that clients have had with me. Some of them sad, some of them funny, but all of them, really touching the heart.
Mm. And again, I've read that and I know some of the people that are in that book. It is incredible. And
Thank
this one,
you.
The Forgotten.
So The Forgotten really was sort of written thinking about my own son who suffers with severe anxiety and panic. And every story in that book are special clients who came to me, and each story they've all got, whether it's autism, ADHD, PTSD, whatever label people are given by the hospitals these days. Each of those stories is about mental health, and they are mind-blowing stories of how both Clara and Zach, my other guide, came in to help those people and help them to move forward. Um,
Mm.
the only other book that you haven't got is, oh, I don't know whether you can see it. I'm a little bit blurred today, so I do apologise. So, Enchanted Tales of the Fairy Kingdom, that was my first and only children's book, and I wrote that for my grandkids. So each of those books that Bev just kindly held up reached number 1 on Amazon in 4 hours of release. It was extraordinary. It was mind blowing because as a writer, I do struggle. I have slight dyslexia. Things seem to scramble across the page. So writing a book has been a real achievement for me. Um, and I feel as if I want to say to people, don't be scared. If you have all got a book in you, don't be scared at the thought of writing because you struggle with your spelling or you struggle with your grammar or you
Mm.
have dyslexia and the words jump all over the page like a kangaroo. Because if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Oh, bless you.
Um,
No, they
and I
are all
just
the
want to show you so this is my author copy. So do excuse can you see that? Is it in focus?
Yeah, it's going in and out, but that's okay. Yeah.
So, sorry about this, but it's got a line across it because this is my author copy. But this picture was inspired by somebody that helped me to build the graphics on it. So this is Clara, and this is me. So if you look, I'm in my jeans and jumper. She's in a robe, and they've brought us together holding hands. So 400 years apart, and yet very best of friends. So the cover
Oh,
is absolutely
beautiful.
stunning. So if I can just say. Um, the Echoes of Clara is on release from now. And if I could ask everybody that knows me or has worked with me, that's experienced Clara's energy, if they could possibly buy her book today, which is Saturday, the 29th of March, you would be helping me greatly because Amazon are not very forthcoming. So if it gets in the top 10 or the top 100, Amazon will promote it because it's within their interest. If it doesn't get in the top 100, I have to promote it myself. They charge an awful lot of money. So if you've had to work with me, please, if you want to buy that book, buy it today because it would be helping me a
Fantastic.
lot.
And for anyone who is just on their awakened journey in the spiritual world, what a fantastic read that will be for anybody who's, whether they're already spiritually awake or whether they're in the early stages. I would
Yes.
suggest
There are
it's
some lessons from Clara in the back of the book to help people to get started. So yes, it would
perfect.
be quite the read.
Best of luck, Lynn. It's going to
Thank
be
you so much. I'm very
fantastic.
excited.
Okay. All
The
right.
link for the book will be underneath this video.
All right.
And thank you for helping me today with this recording.
All right. Bless you and the best of luck.
Bye bye. Thank you.